So you know when Alien Force changed the art style and fans didn't know how to feel about it? Well, this might as well be deja vu because the same fate fell upon Series 4, Omniverse. After Ben acquired the official Omnitrix after giving up the Ultimatrix and forced to team up with his new partner Rook, he ventures forth battling the forces of evil once again. The series is known for its more comedic mood, to pay homage to the classic series, while keeping the serious stories of Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. Add flashbacks with 11-year-old Ben and returning characters galore, it was a lot to take in for the 8 seasons it ran on the air. But, yeah. How about the visuals, huh? They're different, alright. Fans didn't know how to take Omniverse. It took liberties with the series canon, changed the art style, and, well, you gotta give it credit, it has some pretty unique alien designs. Gravitak, feedback, a fairy, and Legos? Let's get to these two games now, shall we? The first game, simply known as Ben 10 Omniverse, released in 2012 for the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, DS, 3DS, and the Wii U. Yay. The first game focuses on the first series arc with the malevolent Malware, a mutated galactic mechamorph, aka Upgrade, bent on powering himself up with the Omnitrix for his own evil purposes. Thrown in the bounty hunter Kyber, who wants Ben as his trophy, and Dr. Rano up to something the game never elaborates. And you do have a good lineup of villains, but for what purpose? After messing with the Omnitrix, again, Ben accidentally sends Rook in a time loop between his time and his younger self 5 years ago. Malware is able to absorb Rook's weapon and creates a bleak future in the process. Now the two timelines must work together to weaken Malware and start the dark future set to come. As you might have noticed, this is the first game to not utilize either Gwen or Kevin. Rook is your main partner here. And if I have to give Omniverse anything, Rook is the best part of Omniverse. It's a fish out of water story done well, with great humor and the skills to back him up. The humor returns for the game as well, getting some genuine laughs out of me. Well, in some for better or worse, but what can you do? As I'm sure you noticed by now, yes, characters always practice their ventriloquist acts. You see the bodies move, but the mouths never do, and it can be distracting, aside from the few times they actually get lip syncing. Other than that, I have to commend the presentation here. Everything is well detailed, looking exactly like Omniverse brought to 3D. Every alien looks almost exactly as they should, including the specific details on each timeline for the shared aliens. Voice actors once again reprise their roles from the series, and the music, while not as memorable as Cosmic Destruction, suits its job well enough. Oh right, I said shared aliens. Well, remember how Vilgax attacks, Oh right, I said shared aliens. You remember how Vilgax attacks let you control all 10 aliens at once? Well, Omniverse has it beat, with a grand total of 16 aliens. Each Ben has a total of 10 aliens, some aliens shared between the two. Depending on the timeline, each Ben has their unique aliens as well, such as Young Ben having Accelerate, Eye Guy, and Feedback, and Teen Ben having Blocks, Gravitak, and Shock Squatch. These aliens are used to beat up enemies, solve puzzles, and make their way to the boss towards the end of the stage. How many times have I said that during the marathon? Omniverse tries to be the ultimate Ben 10 experience, by bringing elements together from past games to make the definitive version. Surprisingly, it actually works. Like Protector of Earth and Alien Force, Omniverse takes beat-em-up mechanics, like simple puzzles and enemy rooms. Like Vilgax attacks, it also has a focus on platforming and upgrades to find via collectibles. And finally, like Cosmic Destruction, it has a quick select for each alien selection. It blends them all together, which was a pretty risky move. But playing the game till the end, I ended up liking the way these elements were put together. Let's start with the aliens themselves. Though you do have a quick select for aliens, it's much easier to swap them out, holding one side of the D-pad to choose an alien. Some aliens also have a use for puzzle solving, such as Artiguana freezing or slowing platforms for access, feedback transferring energy, blocks for creating platforms and objects, Walnut tracks trails for footprints, Cannonbolt revs up ramps and activators, and Gravitack moves gravitated switches. Sadly, not all the aliens are used like this, like Diamond Head, Heat Blast, and Shock Squatch. But the aliens that do test you on your knowledge and don't hold your hand every time. Sure, sometimes Rook will tell you the answer, but it usually isn't right away. There were times I got stuck because I didn't remember what power was needed, so kudos to the game for making you accountable for your powers. There are also times you'll have to grapple onto items like climbing walls to proceed, but in a smart move, the game has an interact button. Not only is this used for pushing levers and objects, but pressing it near grapple points and climbing walls changes you into the required alien, then right back to whatever alien you were before after getting off. This saves you from keeping the alien your selection, never breaking the pace. It's not used for everything, but when it is, it's very much appreciated. I probably contradicted myself there, didn't I? Don't worry, I got this. It feels odd that it isn't used for everything. But for platforming, it does its job, so there's no use complaining. Why do I all of a sudden feel younger? Platforming does its job too. Less Vilgax attacks and more Protector of Earth. I don't mind this a whole lot, except when you're just running through flat curves and roads, especially at the penultimate level. There are times when it's put to the test, but just enough to give you your jumping fix. Besides, you have enemies to fight. There aren't a huge variety of enemies, but each type serves their timeline. Young Ben faces mutant insects and megawatts. I did not expect that reference. And Teen Ben faces malware robots and Vreedle clones. Oh, right. The Vreedles actually have multiple clones in case they pass away. A failsafe to make sure they complete any job they have to. The fact that this game uses that to its advantage is actually kind of clever. Each enemy has different versions, some with shields and some with projectile attacks for instance, so don't expect combat to go sail real fast. That's where your combos come into play. Each alien has button combos and special abilities to use in fights, more unlocked through upgrades. Oh, give me a minute. Through upgrades. That's much better. The red bar shows your experience, and once you reach 2,000 points, you can choose an alien to have more moves unlocked. The moves are shared between aliens, but can only be used when the alien unlocks them. Just make sure to watch the bar for when it's full, since the game doesn't tell you when you can unlock moves. Set combos and moves use your energy, and once you run out, you're forced back to Ben. Let the watch recharge, and you can choose an alien again. Thankfully, you'll never time out automatically, just when enough energy is used up through attacks. And like Protector of Earth, your health recharges in full whenever you transform. So, I mentioned upgrades through combat, but how about your energy and health? Throughout levels are containers, which either give you bonuses like more experience or more energy, or one of two collectibles. Smoothie shakes increase your max health when you collect 5, and crystals increase your max energy when you collect 5 as well. They're scattered throughout the levels, so as long as you find containers and interact with them, you should find most of them in your first playthrough. Those are the only collectibles though, no artwork or model viewers this time around. I could be petty like before, but I'm used to it not being a thing, so I'll let it slide. What I can't let slide is the one weakness the game has: the bosses. Almost every boss is sadly a damage sponge boss. For those unaware, those are bosses that don't stagger when hit. They continue their attacks regardless of your damage. There's only two bosses that act differently. Siphon, yes he's back, gets stunned when enough damage is done or when he tires out. The other example is Animo, where you use your alien powers to traverse his tower and deactivate his hovercraft. This is the only boss that uses your alien powers, but at least that's the... Oh, for the love of... What was with games in the last decade in QuickTime events? I do have other grievances, but minor ones. First, no alien from Alien Force makes an appearance in this game, so if you liked them from previous games, you'll be a bit disappointed they're not here. Second, slowdown. Especially towards the end of the game, it couldn't properly handle everything on screen. At least it wasn't during the level section when I died so often to the insta-kill panels that the game glitched out the music. You can't make this up, I swear. Also, and this only pertains to the Wii U, the pause menu as well as your upgrade menu are on a gamepad screen. I'm sure it was an excuse to make the gamepad relevant, but it was more of an annoyance than anything else. Oh, I'm sure I'll make a video ripping into this console someday. Before I forget to mention, this game does support multiplayer, with the second player controlling Rook and his arsenal of weapons. While you will have to rely on Ben for most of the puzzles, it's a nice addition for anyone who wants in on the action. Rook as a CPU is also very useful, so don't worry if you have to go solo. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed this game. Sure, the bosses could have been better, but the alien powers were used effectively, combat felt satisfying to learn, the story was actually engaging. I dare say this is one of the best Ben 10 games you could possibly get. Is this my favorite Ben 10 game? I'll need time to decide. But I won't deny it's a great addition to the series. Sure, it's likely a one and done, but I'm happy the overall experience was worth going through. I say give this game a try if you can. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as I did. Now, this would be a good way to end the video, but there's one more Omniverse game we have to check out. So, it's about time we dived into Ben 10 Omniverse 2. Let's take a look. Very funny, guys. I said Ben 10 Omniverse 2. I said Omniverse 2. Oh no. Oh no! How could a game like this even exist? Omniverse 2 released 1 year after Omniverse 1 for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, 3DS, Wii, and Wii U. A game so bad that not even Wikipedia wants to give it the time it wants. I won't mince words here, everyone. This game is just not worth your time. The decisions made here are, well, they just don't make sense. And this was developed by the same people who made Protector of Earth. It sounds like I'm overblowing it, right? This game possibly can't be that bad. Let me show you the first cutscene. The very first thing you see when you start a new game. Yep. I didn't take a screenshot of this. No. This is the first thing you see booting up the story mode. A story mode focused on the Season 3 event where the incursions, frog-like aliens who wish to conquer the universe, well, try to take over the universe. But the game makes no efforts explaining who they are, and you're just expected to know this or accept the fact that they're new bad guys except they were introduced 2 series ago! Whoops. It doesn't help that everything is treated as a tell don't show, leaving you in the dark unless you watch the specific episodes the story is based on. And even then, it's a poor representation of those 2 episodes. There's no Will Harang, no Atea, no Kevin or Gwen until the final cutscene, no Grippa Max. There's only 4 characters in this game total. That even includes the main villain, Dr. Psychobos, who's only introduced in the second to last stage. How could a story be adapted so shallowly? It doesn't help that the game has the exact opposite problem of Omniverse's story, where they can't keep their mouths shut. There's no attempt at lip syncing here, just move the mouth and bodies where the voice plays. Aside from that, I can't put the presentation down for anything else. The game still looks as good as the first Omniverse, with aliens as detailed as ever, and areas matching exactly how they look in the show. The music is okay too, with more emphasis on energetic songs to keep the action going. But I can't delay it anymore. Let's get to what's possibly the worst part of Omniverse 2. The gameplay. You're thrown into a rudder beat-em-up, where the goal is to make it to the end of the stage with the occasional combat sections. Much like Temple Run and Sonic Dash, when you're in a running section, you can't stop, only moving left or right as the game moves forward for you. Here, it's more about adapting to obstacles on the fly and your quick reactions to get past them. I'll go more into those in just a bit. You need to choose what side to take on turns, whether for secrets or to not lose energy, since hitting a red X depletes your energy. Of course, it wouldn't be a Ben 10 game without aliens, and this time we have 10. Classic aliens like Forearms, Cannonball, and Accelerate make a comeback, aliens from Alien Force like Swampfire and Big Chill return, Omniverse aliens like Gravitack and Blocks turn up again, and finally the new aliens to the game, Astrodactyl, Crash Hopper, and finally, Bullfrag. But unlike previous games, you only get to control 3 at a time. Yes, only 3. And here's where it gets a tad complicated. The aliens are split into 3 groups. Light aliens to hop over walls and gaps, projectile aliens to throw objects at the combustible walls and flying turrets, and finally heavy aliens to bust walls. Unfortunately, you can only select one alien of each type to bring into the stage, which doesn't sound awful at first, until we talk about how they're upgraded. See, even he doesn't want anything to do with this game. To upgrade aliens, there are 2 collectibles. One is the Alien Upgrade Token. Collect it, and it upgrades a specific alien up 1 level, gaining more combos. The catch is, getting these tokens are done in multiple ways. One way is locked behind an alien-specific door, another is beating a grunt running away from you, or some could just be found randomly in a specific combat room. There is no experience this time around. You need to find these tokens in order to upgrade aliens. The second collectible is the Omnitrix Shards. Beating every enemy in a combat section gives you 1 shard, increasing your energy for the rest of the stage. Yes, for the rest of the stage. These are not permanent, only the alien combat upgrades, which sucks because it drives a harsh point home. You may have noticed by now there's only 1 bar, the green bar. That's because it's not only your energy, it's also your health. Run out of energy at any time and you revert back to Ben. Get hit as Ben just once and you die. And start the level all over again! No matter how far you get, no matter how close to the end you are, it's back to the start with no checkpoints whatsoever. Sure, enemies and broken obstacles don't respawn, but still, that's a huge price to pay just for death. And you can see why when running from start to finish with no enemies. Levels take mere minutes to beat with nothing going on. So every obstacle, every enemy encounter, all of it is just the pan out playtime. And yes, if you don't have the right alien for the specific door, you have to finish the level, re-choose the alien, and then go through the entire level from scratch all over again, just for a chance at the upgrade. Or you could be like me, who dies in the middle of the level, chooses the alien he needs, and then goes through the level. Okay, yeah, this sounds confusing, but bear with me on this. This was my strategy ever since I learned you die at the start. I remember necessary aliens, I die, select the needed aliens, and run the course again just to get the upgrade. Because I did this method, I nearly got every upgrade on my first full playthrough. But imagine if I didn't. It's a cheap way to beg for multiple playthroughs, and that's not even the half of it. I didn't even talk about combat yet. Combos are just like Omniverse 1, more unlocked with every level up as I mentioned before. But good lord, does combat feel more tedious this time around. Unless you get those specific combos, it's button mashing till they fall. The only other combat button is blocking, which is unique to each alien. And somehow also a selling point to a game. When have you ever seen blocking be a selling point in a video game? What doesn't help is the few enemy types this game has. Its incursions all the way through, with different elements like fire and ice, sword mooks, jumping mooks, brutes that lock your alien choice temporarily, 2 gun mooks, and 2 mechanized mooks. Aside from turrets, that's it. It gets stale as soon as the first official stage, and never changes for the better. No stage gimmicks, no special enemies, nothing. It feels like combat was an afterthought that needed to be here just because it's Ben 10. Pair that with the help system and being booted back to the beginning if you die, and you lose my interest rather fast. Unless you kill me to unfair moments, which this game loves to pull on you. It doesn't help that 5 of the 7 main stages are in the same incursion ship, the other level being on Earth and the other one being Undertown. Other than that, it's basically the same presentation for most of the game. So you feel like you're going through the same levels over and over again. That is, until you get to the boss fight. The only boss fight. In the final stage, you're face to face against a giant Waybat, and while it tests everything the game has to offer, that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Projectile enemies to deal damage, fast aliens to dodge electricity, although you don't really need to do this, and heavy aliens to stay on the ship. All that while dealing with projectile enemies for easy damage, and if you die at any point, it's back to the beginning of the boss. And all the struggle, all the pain you were dealt. What's your reward? Multiplayer arena challenges. Yes, for every level you complete, all 8, you get an arena challenge. And oh look, it's Rook! They remember he exists! And yay, it's waves upon waves of the same aliens you've beaten, and I'm back to level 1? Yes, because you level up at certain waves, and yeah, I'm just done. The other modes sound decent, but I'm done playing this game. Even if I didn't get every award. 98% done is fine by me. If you couldn't tell, I think... No. I know! This is the worst Ben 10 game ever! Sure, the graphics may look nice, but cutscenes are weaker than before, combat feels pale in comparison, the running sections aren't fun to traverse through. This just isn't worth playing whatsoever! I never felt more drained playing a game in my life. My frustration for the game was through the roof. There were plenty of times I just wanted to give up. I will never, ever pick this game up again, and I can say with confidence, it's not worth it. Skip this one. You'll be thankful you did. Well, I would say we're ending the marathon on a bad note, but there is a reboot, and it has its own game. Oh, what the heck. Can't be any worse than what we just experienced. I'm the PS2Man, and... this is definitely going to be interesting. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, well, you know what to do. If you want to check out any updates or any fun posts, you can always check out Twitter. And if you want to catch me stream every weekday, you can head over to my other YouTube channel, PS2Man Streams. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you whenever you stop by.